Mom, there's something I'd like to ask from you.
Nice to hear from you, Carson. What do you need from me?
I'm kind of wondering if, for a little while, you'd be willing to come over to my house. Of course, I don't mind you only coming when you have time to.
You want me to start coming over to your house? What for?
Well, actually, Christy hasn't been feeling too well lately. So, things like taking care of the house and parenting has been tough on her.
Is Christy going to be okay, though? Have you two gone to the doctors yet to talk with them? Are you sure that she hasn't come down with something serious like the flu?
She's not sick with anything that's causing her to be on her deathbed or anything. Well, let's just say that it hasn't gotten that bad yet.
But you're not going to tell me what she has. Are you sure she's doing okay at the moment?
Well, we're really not sure what's up with her besides that she might just be really exhausted from having to handle everything at home and isn't really doing too well mentally. When we did see a doctor about it, they told us she most likely needs some time to herself for a while. He felt that a few weeks off of doing anything stressful should help her get her energy back up. I can definitely tell that she's been in a slump lately, though. Waking up every morning has been like a battle for her.
And having a little one at only 3 years old probably doesn't help the situation for her any. I think right now is one of the most difficult times for us women when we become a mother.
She's sitting in a daycare right now, but that's only for a few hours, then he's right back by her side. So she really doesn't get any breaks. I'm able to take care of things on the weekends, but that's not enough for Chrissy to catch any breaks. I think she's really had enough for a while.
I think so as well. And when it comes to you coming home from work, you're usually not able to get out of work until later in the evening. Being around a toddler and having to do all the chores all day every day must really be taking a toll on her.
When you had to raise me around that age, was it tough for you too?
Well, of course it was. You never listened to a single word I said to you. And when I'd take my eyes off of you for not even a second, you'd run off somewhere. However, I never had it as bad as Christy, obviously, as I never had to deal with my health deteriorating from taking care of you. At least I had a few days where I'd get out of the house and refresh myself.
Is that right? Sorry about that.
You don't have to apologize for back then. You were just a toddler back then, and I was just a young mother at the time. I had to rely on your grandma a few times to watch over you when I'd take a day off. But she started to get upset with me for that, so I had to get back to work with you. However, when I really think about it all now, it makes sense why she got upset with me for always wanting to take a day off. But of course, everyone deserves at least a small break when having to do all the work at home while also raising a baby.
I really wish I could create more time to be home to help with chores and raising our kid. I've left Christy with all the important work and it's destroying her. Of course, I know that she understands that it's all necessary, but... Well, anyway, Mom, I'd really like for you to help us out for a bit here. Just until she's able to get her strength back and starts getting back to it. I understand that you have a lot going on yourself these days, but what do you think? We really only need you around to help with the chores. Christy can handle our boy.
I'll be over there whenever you need me. So you're fine with me just doing the chores around you guys' house? You'd be fine with me watching after him after he gets home from daycare as well, right?
Don't worry. We're going to have him go to another daycare actually, where he can be looked after for the whole day. So, you really don't have to worry about him any. They will be able to handle him for the whole day as well as feed him and all that.
Well, if that's what you want to do with him. So I'll just be in charge of handling the chores and cooking.
Yep. Christy will be sleeping for most of the day besides when she has to go to daycare and back. So it'll just be you handling all of the housework and all that.
I don't mind that at all. She isn't in the best of shape, so she deserves to catch up on whatever rest she needs. So should I start coming over there tomorrow?
That would be great, Mom. I'll drop off the key to our house while I'm on my way to work tomorrow, so you can get it from me then.
Huh? But isn't Christy going to be at your house?
She's actually got to go to the hospital tomorrow. So I don't think there will be anyone at the house with you for most of the day.
Is that so? All right, then. Then I guess I'll have to let myself in. I'll make sure not to go through cleaning all your drawers and things like that, but everything else will get cleaned. And as for dinner, I'll make sure to have that ready for everyone by the time you get home.
Really? That would be amazing, Mom. I'm sorry to have to ask you to make dinner that late in the day, but please?
I know what all you like to eat, but what about Christy and the baby? Do they have any allergies or things that they don't want to eat?
Those two don't have any allergies to anything. But our boy doesn't really like to eat carrots.
Sounds good. I'll do my best to make things for him that don't include carrots then. Starting tomorrow, I'll get a feel for what it's like to do the chores and cooking in your house, and from there I'll set up a schedule. How does that work for you?
That's fine. I don't mind that at all. Mom, I'm really sorry if this gets in the way of any of your plans.
You're not getting in the way of anything important. We love to help one another in this family, and it makes me happy that you're asking me to help you all out. Well, I'll see you tomorrow. What time will you be home from the hospital today?
Shauna, you're still over at our house right now?
That's right. I wanted to get a head start on cooking up you guys' dinner for tonight, so that's why I'm still around right now. Also, I have something I'd like to talk with you about. And I'd rather we talk about it in person when you get back home today.
I'm sorry. I think I'll be at the hospital for a little while longer today. So if you could just ask me right now through text, that would help me out a ton.
I suppose I will then. Well, this has to do with some of your cleaning supplies. I'd like to go out and buy some more things. Your husband was able to tell me where the extra laundry detergent was, but there's not much left of it now. And as for a lot of the other cleaning supplies, we're going to need some more. I just wanted to ask if you knew of any other places in your house where there might be some cleaning supplies for me.
Nope. Besides on top of the cabinet, there isn't anywhere else that we keep our cleaning supplies.
Are you sure? Because you all didn't have a whole lot to begin with, so maybe you guys aren't really used to using all the cleaning supplies I normally use? Are you guys more into just using soap and water for a lot of the cleaning?
Well, it's not really like that, but I've just been able to clean the house with whatever's been above that cabinet.
Well, that seems to be the case then. Then you wouldn't mind me going out to buy some more, right?
Sure. Go ahead and get whatever you'd like. I don't really care what you get to help clean the house since you're the one doing all that work. And you don't even have to bother asking me questions about the cleaning from now on there. As long as you're not getting into any of our private drawers and things like that, I don't care what you do or clean.
I promise not to clean anything that you guys don't want me touching, so don't worry about that. So now, Christy, how have you been feeling lately? I haven't really heard too much from Carson about how you're doing, so I'm a bit curious. Are you starting to feel any better now that you're getting plenty of time to rest again?
It's only been a week, Shauna. What makes you think anything could change in such a short amount of time? I'm still feeling like crap, and I'm not sure how long it's going to be this way for me.
Well, I guess you're right. Well, if there's anything else you need from me, let me know. I want to do anything I can to make sure that you're feeling better again.
Alright. But in your case, all you need to do are the chores and the cooking, and that will be enough. Are we done here now? There's nothing left that you have to ask me about, right?
Right. There's nothing else. Well, there is something to do with some people living in this apartment building with you that's caught my attention. I had met with a couple of moms the other day that happened to have kids around the same age as your son, and we talked for a bit. Well, when I went up to talk to them about how things have been going around here, they all ignored me and walked away. So I guess I really didn't talk with them more than just a mere introduction. It was like they all gave me the cold shoulder right after I introduced myself.
Didn't I tell you to only work on cleaning and cooking within our place? You shouldn't be going around talking to all of them, okay? I think it was totally natural for all of them to ignore you when none of them even care about who you are. You don't even live in the apartment building either. If you keep that up, one of them might end up calling the police on you or something, thinking that you're up to no good.
But we happen to cross each other's paths every so often at the elevator or at the front door. So I just thought it'd be nice of me to talk with them.
Today isn't like the old days that you used to live in. These days, most people don't want to talk to strangers, so can you please just leave all of them alone for me? If you keep all of that crap up, they're all going to start thinking my family is weird and things like that.
I'm sorry about that, Christy. I'll make sure to leave them all alone from now on.
I'm just starting to get back into a good mental state again. So could you please stop doing things that'll stress me out again?
I will. I promise I won't do anything else like that again, so you can relax now.
Sorry. I'm going to feel sick again, so I'll be going.
I'm sorry for doing something that stressed you out so much, Christy. I'll make sure that when I'm back here in a couple of days, I bring a bunch of new cleaning supplies to work with. If there's anything you need me to grab for you while I'm out shopping, just let me know. I'll make sure to buy it for you.
I'm totally fine, Shauna. Just leave me as I am, and that helped me out a bunch. Now I'm going to stop talking.
Mom, I know that we've been the ones asking you to be here all the time, so I feel bad saying this, but you no longer have to come to our house anymore.
Huh? What's happened to make you change your mind? Does this mean that Christy has started to feel better again and can get back to being a mother?
That's not it. Because of you doing things you shouldn't have been doing, things have gotten worse.
I haven't done anything besides clean the house and cook for you guys.
Recently, you went out to buy some cleaning supplies for us to help restock everything, right? But you started to text Christy about it, nagging her about how she didn't have enough supplies for you to work with and that she needs to do better next time, right?
I was never nagging her about it. I was only asking her if it was okay for me to go out and buy more things. That way I could get back to cleaning everything in the house for you all. Look, I get that there are minimalist people out there, right? I understand completely that some people don't want to use a whole bunch of different cleaning supplies when doing the chores. So I had only asked her if it was fine for me to buy a few more things to help me out when I clean.
But you did ask her about how she doesn't use a lot of things for cleaning, right?
I wasn't trying to say anything bad about her style of cleaning, though.
Also, I hear that you had spoken with some of the other people living within our apartment building, right? Right now, you are causing a lot of stress for Christy while she's already been dealing with a lot of trauma. And now everyone around her, including those moms, have been wondering how she's doing. We thought you understood not to talk with anyone in the apartment building, to try and keep all of this on the down low. Christy is telling me that she no longer wants to see you anymore, okay?
Well, if she's going to say something like that about me, then I have something to say about her myself.
I'm asking you not to say anything. For the time being, you are no longer allowed near us or the house. I get that I'm the one that asked you to come here and help, but I don't want you to cause her any more trouble. So I'd like you to just remain distant from my family.
So that disgusting witch is going to try running away from me now, is she? Well, whether it was today or next week, something like this was bound to happen.
Huh? Disgusting witch? The fact that you're not even going to come and say that to my face makes you a freaking coward. Why would you talk about someone who's struggling with their mental health like that? I seriously never thought you were the type of person that would partake in bullying my wife. The fact that you're acting this way now is putting you in a terrible position.
Carson, I really do think that you being this kind to everyone is a great characteristic of yours. But being nice about everything your wife has been doing is only going to lead you down a heartbreaking path.
What the heck are you talking about?
That Christy, I don't think she's sick with anything at all.
And what makes you think you have the right to think anything like that of her?
Well, can you tell me the name of the hospital she's currently having to go to every day? And can you tell me what kind of medications she's taken to help her feel better?
I don't really ask her about those things. But I've heard about everything she's going through right now. And I see her taking her medications anytime we are eating together.
Well, ever since I've started to clean up around your house and do all of those things, I've noticed something very interesting.
And what interesting thing is that? Did something happen that piqued your interest that much?
When I was just starting to clean you guys' house for you, I noticed that you didn't have enough supplies to clean much of anything in there.
And I told you that Christy has been doing perfectly fine with that minimal amount of supplies.
And I'm sure there are times you help clean around the house and such, but you guys are only wiping off the dinner table and maybe running the vacuum cleaner at most there, right?
Well,
when it comes to actually cleaning the windows and going through with a duster and things like that, you guys aren't doing any of it. Not even bothering to wipe down the kitchen floors every now and then. I don't think anyone in their right mind would say the amount of work you're putting in is enough to call your place clean. But you did say to me that before she started to feel sick, the house was all clean and everything, right?
yeah.
Well, look, the house was clean, but not because of your wife. She's been having all the moms in your apartment building do all the cleaning for you guys. The other moms would all bring their own cleaning supplies to your place and would proceed to clean up everywhere that Christy told them to. And that's why your place was so clean before Christy became sick.
Huh? Why?
I don't know why she'd be doing something like that. The only thing I can say is that she's always been that kind of woman. She's the kind of person that makes others do all the work for her. But after one of those moms would no longer clean for her, she'd find another mom to force into helping around the house. However, they soon began to learn all about Christy's dark side. And when they all learned about Christy, they used her secrets as a way to blackmail her into never asking them for anything ever again.
I'm sorry. I really have no idea what you're talking about right now. Can you sum this all up for me?
What is Christy doing right now?
She's sleeping at the moment.
Then what I've said to you so far, and anything else I say to you, promise me you'll never tell her about it yet. After she's gone out to drop off your son at the daycare, I'll tell you everything I know so far. I understand that you might not feel as though any of this is that important to you right now, but I'm telling you that what she's been up to affects you and your son as well. I'd like you to take the day off work if you can. That's how important everything that I have to talk to you about is.
Shauna, you came into our place again? I'm sure you already heard from my husband that we no longer want you over here, right? So why are you still doing things without neither of our permissions? Right now, you are seriously causing me some issues that I'm not going to let go of. This might lead to something more than you being kicked out of our house. We might end up just cutting ties with you entirely.
Well, this is perfect timing then, because I've been planning myself to cut ties to you.
Let me just tell you this. I'm not just talking about myself cutting ties to you. Both your son and your grandson will no longer want anything to do with you as well.
The only one that's about to lose everyone is you, Christy. And of course, that means my son as well.
Huh? What the hell are you going on about right now?
We know all about the bad things you've been up to behind our backs. Up until recently, you'd been having all those moms in your apartment building do the cleaning for you while Carson's out of the house, right? Remember all those moms I was telling you about that ignored me as soon as I told them who I was? Well, those are the same moms that you forced to do your chores.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You sure the hell do, Christy. I think you're better off just telling the truth to me now, unless you want to be in a far worse boat than the one you're already sinking in. And you telling my husband about how I've been picking on you. You've only been saying that because while I'm in the house, you can't be up to those no good things you like to do, right? And my son is a very nice man. Too nice, in fact. And so he had no way of doubting what you said about me because his heart wouldn't allow him to. Now, tell me, Christy, did you having to act as an adult finally become too much for your selfish butt?
What the hell are you even talking about right now, Shauna?
On days which your husband couldn't take your son to daycare, I've heard some things from all those other mothers. I'd drop him off, and as I was doing so, I could hear all of those mothers talking about what you've been doing behind me. Those moms there still didn't know who I was yet, so before introducing myself, I asked them what they were talking about, and they let me in on it.
You're going to trust what a bunch of strangers are saying about me? You really are aging much quicker than I thought, Shauna.
Well, I'd rather trust all those women over someone as sly and nasty as you. I know the reason you play sick now is because none of the mothers around town are willing to come over and do all the chores for you. You may have been able to keep all of that hidden from my son, but you aren't getting away that easily from me. I've had a good look at those medications he says you've been taking before eating, and all of those are just daily vitamins, right? And when it comes to cleaning around the house, I've come across all sorts of strange things.
Are you telling me that you've been going through my trash now? That's horrifying.
Those medication sheets? I mean, those vitamin sheets weren't even in the trash, you idiot. But honestly, that stuff is nothing compared to what else I've learned about you. What I'll never forgive you for is how you've been cheating on my son and what you've been doing with my grandson. Before, you'd leave your son with those other moms while you went out to cheat, right?
Stop it with all of these screwed up ideas you have of me! Shauna! How much farther are you planning to make crap up about me before you find you've had enough? Right now, I'm having a serious mental health crisis and I need to rest without you trying to screw everything up. And those vitamins I've been taking are very important for getting my body back in shape.
Then tell me what hospital you've been going to so often. Something tells me you've been going to the dermatology clinic, though.
And what makes you think I need to tell you about where I go to be treated?
You don't have to tell me if you don't feel like it. I've already found out that you're not going to any hospital or anything like that anyway. I already have the evidence I need of you giving up your son to those other women to take care of him, and about you cheating on my son with another man.
What kind of evidence could you possibly have?
Well, we'll show that all to you when you come and talk to my son and his lawyer about your divorce.
Divorce? Does my husband already know about all of this?
He does. When he came to me crying about how I've supposedly been picking on you, I told him everything I knew about you and your dark secrets. I didn't hold anything back either, because he needed to know about it all. And once he found out about what's been going on, both him and I went out to collect the proof we needed. So stop it with all that lying, will you?
There's no way my husband actually wants to leave me.
Of course that's what you think. He really did pour his heart out for you and everything, didn't he? But after learning about all of this, he's been pushed past his breaking point. He's already told me that he no longer needs you anymore, and so the question has been answered. Have you noticed that the house is a whole lot cleaner than normal? Well, that's due to us having asked a moving company to come and clean all his stuff and your son's stuff out of there.
You're wrong about all of that. I was only asking those other mothers about how to raise my boy. I haven't been doing anything wrong.
I have pictures of you going into some man's house. And all those days that you've said you were going to the hospital. Was that the dermatologist that I'm thinking of? I mean, he seems to want to see all your skin after all. Also, a lot of the other moms have seen you over to his place. And if that's all still not enough, my son has had a good look into your smartphone.
What?
He said if you want to sue him for something like that, you can go right ahead. But you should know your rights when it comes to you both being a married couple. But he has the right to look at your phone, especially when he's worried about what you've been up to. He really didn't want to believe any of this could be happening, but all the evidence we have proves everything to, in fact, be true. He's seen everything now, and his heart has been cut open by your actions.
Shauna, where is he right now? Where is Carson? I'd really like to see him in person and have a word with him.
You'll be able to see both him and his lawyer when talking about your divorce. So you can wait a little while longer and get all that you have to say together. He's actually having a word with his lawyer right now about you. When they've decided on how to proceed, they'll give you a call.
I don't want to wait for that. I want to talk to him before he decides to get a divorce.
Right now, my son has no heart left in him to see you. He's become a cold and hardened man now, looking for a way out of the web you've tried to hold him in. So please, give him and his lawyer some time to think.
I don't want to get a divorce, though! Do you really think it's okay to leave my son with only one parent in his life?
Oh, there's no need to worry about him. He'll have his father to look after him, as well as me.
What? What about me?
Are you kidding me? You left him with people you barely knew to go have sex with another man. And let's be honest, you never really cared about raising him in the first place, right? He's told me plenty of times already that his mama doesn't really like to play with him.
I don't want to lose them, though. And I gave birth to that boy. And when it comes to Carson, I'll never be able to find another man as nice as him. He's the only man that's ever been willing to forgive anything I do.
And you're the only person he's ever gotten furious about, so that must mean you're not worth his kindness. He's never been this mad before in his whole life, Christy. You even sent your secret man a message saying that your husband is an idiot that would forgive you for even the worst of sins, right? So you took his kindness for granted, and look where it's gotten you. I love my son so much, and seeing that you were talking about and taking advantage of him like that broke my heart.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for everything I've done.
You are not in the position to be apologizing for any of that anymore. It's very, very hard to win someone's trust back, especially when that someone was so kind to you. Now you're going to learn what happens when you stab one of the nicest men on this planet in the heart. Now I'm going to do as you've wished and allow you to cut ties with me. From now on, you are no longer allowed to be a part of my family, and you'll never speak to us again. About a week after all of that, both my son and Christy had their chat about the divorce. And since the divorce was going to be based on Christy cheating on him, and since he had the evidence of her cheating, there was no fighting what came next. But there was one issue, and that was that Christy looked as though she'd get custody of her son. And that broke Carson's heart even more. And so it took over 3 months for Carson and his lawyer to explore new paths to getting him full custody of his son. But they were finally able to do it. When going to the courthouse with the papers, the judge seemed a bit concerned about it all at first, but in the end, he gave custody of my grandson to Carson. Also, when it comes to all those moms that Christy ended up using to do all her chores and care for her son, they all went to her and made sure that she apologized to every single one of them on her hands and knees. And once all of that had been settled and the divorce finished, she went back to her parents' house, where they told her she was no longer a part of their family either. This led to her going to her secret man's house to try and live with him. But that man was not happy with her after what he thought was just a bit of fun between two unmarried people. Turned out to be him getting a major settlement from her husband. And he kicked her out of his house before she could even take her shoes off there. After that had happened, my son received a call from an unknown number, which turned out to be Christy. She was asking for him to help her out by handing her some money, which means she's in a pretty rough spot right about now. Of course my son said no to her request. And ever since then, he hasn't answered any calls from unknown phone numbers. We're not really sure how life is going for Christy, besides that she doesn't have much money, but we're hoping she's realized just how much she screwed up and never bothers any of us ever again. As for my son and my grandson, the two of them ended up moving into my house with my husband and I. We were really worried about our grandson since he didn't seem to totally understand what was all going on yet. But we ended up sending him to a new daycare, and he's been having a ton of fun there since. And along with that, he also has started going over to some of his newly made friends' houses for playdates, and that seems to have really put a massive smile on his face. His mother apparently never did anything with him before and would just leave him to sit in front of the TV all day, by himself. Had my son and I realized all of this was going on sooner, we could have been there to break him out of her prison. But from now on, everyone in my family is going to do our best to make sure that he never goes another day without feeling someone's love. So with the help of my husband and I, my son is going to put his fatherly foot down and make sure his son is raised into a beautiful young man, just like I remember my son turning into. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.